Hello, everyone. I want to tell you about a patient I saw just last week. A 72-year-old gentleman named Robert who came in for a routine checkup feeling perfectly fine. He walked, he ate what he thought was a healthy diet, and he had no complaints. By the end of our conversation, we had uncovered 5 common daily habits he was performing that were silently pushing him towards a major heart attack. Today, I want to share those 5 habits with you because I suspect many of you listening right now are making the very same mistakes.
That is a truly chilling and powerful story to begin with. Welcome, everyone, to Health Voices. I'm Sarah. Doctor, what you've just described is the ultimate fear for so many seniors, the idea of a silent problem, a danger that gives no warning signs. We are so glad to have our new cardiovascular expert, Dr. David Miller, here to guide us. Can you tell us a bit about your work, Doctor?
It's a pleasure to be here, Sarah. As a cardiologist who has focused on preventive care for seniors for the past 2 decades, my greatest passion is to pull back the curtain on these hidden risks. My goal isn't to create fear, but to replace fear with knowledge, because knowledge allows you to take action. The story of Robert is not unique. It's a story I see every week. People are harmed not by malice, but by habit. Today, we're going to break that cycle by exposing 5 of the most dangerous groups of habits for senior heart health.
This is essential information. So, let's begin this journey. What is the first group of habits we need to be aware of?
The first habit group is the one that feels the most normal in modern life, but is perhaps the most insidious. It is living a sedentary lifestyle. This is more than just not exercising. It's the cumulative hours spent in a state of stillness, sitting in a chair, lying on the couch, being inactive for long stretches. Your heart is a dynamic muscle. It was designed for movement. When you are still, your entire cardiovascular system slows down. Blood flow becomes sluggish, particularly in your legs. This creates the perfect environment for fats and cholesterol to be deposited along the walls of your arteries, a process called atherosclerosis. Think of it like a slow-moving river where silt and debris can easily settle on the bottom. A fast-moving river, however, stays clean. Movement is what keeps your arteries clean. The American Heart Association has been very clear about this. Their research links prolonged sedentary time directly to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and overall mortality, independent of whether you do a 30-minute workout. That's the key. Your 30-minute walk is fantastic, but it cannot undo the damage of sitting for the other 8 hours of the day.
So it's not just about adding exercise, it's about breaking up the stillness throughout the entire day.
Precisely. The patient I mentioned, Robert, he walked his dog every morning. He thought that was enough, but then he would sit and read for 4 hours straight. That prolonged sitting was undermining all the good he was doing on his walk. The solution is twofold. First, yes, aim for that intentional 30-minute daily walk. It is non-negotiable. But second, you must interrupt the stillness. Every hour, stand up. Walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. Do some gentle stretches. These small exercise snacks keep your circulation moving and prevent that dangerous stagnation.
That's a much more holistic way of looking at movement. Let's move to the second group of habits, which you said takes place in the kitchen.
Yes, the second group is what I call a diet of convenience and hidden dangers. This combines 3 common pitfalls: eating foods with hidden salt, starting the day with a processed breakfast, and relying on fast food or fried snacks. They are all connected. Modern processed foods are engineered to be irresistible, but they are a triple threat to your heart. They are overloaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and refined sugars. Let's focus on salt. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at filtering out excess sodium. The World Health Organization's recommendation for seniors is to aim for under 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. A single can of soup or a frozen dinner can contain half or even all of that amount. This excess sodium forces your body to retain water, increasing your blood volume and putting immense pressure on your artery walls. This is the direct cause of high blood pressure.
And what about the unhealthy breakfasts and fried foods?
That's the rest of the storm. A breakfast of bacon, sausage, or sugary cereals creates an immediate inflammatory spike and floods your blood with unhealthy fats at a time of day when your system is most vulnerable to cardiac events. Fried foods, especially from fast food restaurants, are often cooked in cheap, oxidized vegetable oils. These oils are profoundly inflammatory and directly damage the delicate lining of your arteries, making it easier for plaque to form. I had a patient whose blood pressure was stubbornly high despite being on medication. He swore he ate a healthy diet. But when we dug into the details, we found his healthy diet consisted of canned vegetables, high in sodium, prepackaged low-fat meals, often high in sodium and sugar, and a deli meat sandwich for lunch every day. He was consuming a huge amount of hidden salt without ever touching a salt shaker. By shifting him to simple, home-cooked meals, his blood pressure finally came under control.
It really is about reading labels and getting back to basics. What is the third group of habits, doctor? This one, you said, is about our emotional health.
It is, and it may be the most important and least discussed. The third habit is unmanaged chronic stress and mood. This encompasses both bottling up difficult emotions like anger and sadness, and using substances like alcohol as a coping mechanism. The mind-heart connection is not a philosophical concept, it is a physiological reality. When you are in a state of chronic stress, your adrenal glands produce the hormones cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are life-saving in a short-term crisis, but when they are chronically elevated, they are toxic. They keep your heart rate high, constrict your blood vessels, and raise your blood pressure. Furthermore, cortisol can lead to insulin resistance and an increase in visceral fat around your abdomen, the most dangerous type of fat for heart health. Extensive research in the field of psychocardiology has shown a direct, measurable link between chronic stress and an increased risk of heart attacks.
And alcohol often comes into play as a way people try to manage that stress.
It's a very common and dangerous trap. A glass of wine might feel like it's taking the edge off, but it's a false friend to your heart. As we age, our ability to metabolize alcohol decreases. Even moderate amounts can trigger atrial fibrillation, that chaotic, irregular heartbeat that dramatically increases the stroke risk. It also disrupts sleep, which further raises the stress hormones. The solution is to find healthy outlets for emotional pressure. This doesn't have to mean years of therapy. It can be as simple as talking honestly with a friend, journaling your thoughts, practicing meditation or deep breathing, or joining a community group. These activities aren't just for your mind, they are powerful cardiovascular medicine.
That is such a vital message. Let's talk about our fourth group of habits, which is also about rest and recovery.
Yes, the fourth category is poor sleep hygiene and nighttime routines. This covers two common issues: ignoring sleep apnea, often signaled by loud snoring, and using screens like phones or TVs too close to bedtime. Deep sleep is not downtime for your body. It is the critical repair phase for your heart and blood vessels. This is when your blood pressure naturally dips, giving your heart a rest, and when cellular inflammation is cleared away. Anything that disrupts this process is a direct threat to your heart. Sleep apnea, where breathing stops intermittently, is a major threat. It causes repeated drastic drops in blood oxygen levels, which puts immense stress on the heart. Chronic, loud snoring is the biggest red flag and should always be investigated with a sleep study. The second issue is late-night screen use. The blue light emitted from phones, tablets, and TVs directly inhibits your brain's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. A major review in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed how this exposure delays and shortens the deep restorative stages of sleep. You might be in bed for 8 hours, but you're getting very little true healing time.
So even if we feel we are sleeping, the quality isn't there. The solution seems to be protecting that time before bed.
Exactly. I call it creating a digital sunset. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before bed. Allow your brain to wind down, read a physical book, listen to calming music. This simple boundary allows your body to produce the melatonin it needs to enter deep sleep and perform its nightly cardiac repairs.
And finally, doctor, what is the fifth and most critical group of habits?
The fifth group is what I would call a conscious or unconscious disregard for known life or death risks. This includes two of the most dangerous habits of all, smoking and ignoring high blood pressure by not taking prescribed medication. At this point, there is no debate. The CDC has been clear for decades that smoking is a leading cause of cardiovascular disease. It directly damages the lining of your arteries, making them sticky and prone to plaque. There is no safe amount. But the habit that I find most tragically common is medication non-adherence. A patient is diagnosed with high blood pressure. They are given a life-saving medication, but because high blood pressure is silent and they feel fine, they decide to stop taking it. This is like deciding to remove the airbags from your car because you haven't had a crash recently. The medication is the protection. Skipping it, even for a few days, can lead to a hypertensive crisis, a stroke, or a heart attack that was entirely preventable. I have seen this end in tragedy far too many times. It is essential to take your prescribed medications as a daily, non-negotiable act of survival.
That is a very stark and necessary warning. This list of 5 habits, sedentary lifestyle, a diet of convenience, unmanaged stress, poor sleep, and disregarding known risks, paints a very clear picture of what we need to focus on.
It does. And if you've listened to this and recognized yourself in some of these habits, I want you to feel not shame, but a sense of empowerment. You have now identified the enemy. You have a roadmap. Your heart has been beating for you faithfully for your entire life. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for your attention and your care. A simple walk, a home-cooked meal, a deep breath, a good night's sleep, taking the medication your doctor prescribed. These are not small things. They are the most profound acts of love and respect you can give to the organ that sustains your life. It is never ever too late to start.
Thank you, Dr. David Miller, for this incredibly important and compassionate guidance. To our Health Voices community, what is one habit you'll reconsider starting today? Please share in the comments. Your story can inspire us all. And please, if this was helpful, like this video, share it with someone you love, and subscribe for more conversations that empower your health.
It has been an honor. And as our most important reminder, this is educational advice. Always work closely with your personal physician who knows your unique medical history to create a health plan that is right for you. Be well.